Peter, beyond just turning wrenches, from a maintenance perspective, talk to me about records and logbooks and the condition that we need to be thinking about for a corporate flight department.
When I go to look at an aircraft to determine what condition it is, the first thing I look at is the records. That tells the story of the history of the airplane. It determines whether or not the aircraft was properly maintained and meeting the manufacturer's requirements. When I see that the records are not sequential, that there's inspections that were not appropriately signed off, I then get concerned about the overall condition of the aircraft.
Yeah, so we're talking about care, custody, history, and pedigree of the airplane, and that has a direct correlation to the valuation when it's time to sell the airplane. Quantify that for me. What percentage of valuation are we talking about is generally tied up in records and maintenance logs?
Depending on the aircraft and the amount of time it's been in service, if the records are not recorded appropriately and there is gaps, large gaps in its record keeping, I think you can put a valuation in the 10% that this aircraft will not be able to capture again.
Peter, you mentioned a 10% influence for records and logbooks. You don't want to get to the end of your ownership cycle with an airplane and find out that 10% is about to cost you. Give me an idea of how we should audit that. What period of time, how frequently? Walk me through that idea.
I think that any aircraft that's doing a normal flight time of 400 to 500 hours a year is developing a lot of records over that time. There's a lot of transactions that are going on, there's a lot of major inspections that are going on, and there's all generating records to follow the history of this aircraft. It's prudent to have someone come in and spot check to make sure that those records are captured appropriately, filed appropriately, and can easily be pulled up if needed, so that you can accurately get the history of that aircraft. So we recommend that there be some sort of review of the records of that aircraft every few years. The records must be maintained no matter who is responsible for the aircraft. Because if the records are not appropriate, the aircraft is losing valuation.